All right, so the joy or joyful stitch, um, something I accidentally came up with because I overheard a friend incorrectly. We were talking about a pattern she was doing, but I have loved it ever since I started doing it, and I wanted to share it with you. Thanks to all of you who asked to see this. After I posted the third review, or the third try to review sweet rolls, I still can't with sweet rolls. Sorry. I've heard from some of you that you love them. I still can't. I'll work on that. So this is a quick video. I say quick, it's probably going to be 20 minutes. We'll see after I put it all together. To go on how to make this, this stitch. So here it is in a single color, and here it is in 3 colors. And I think you can see already the potential here. It's a very simple stitch. It's a very easy to make. You can kind of see the wibbly wobbliness of it that make it really nice to do in ombres and multicolored yarn. What you will need to do what I'm about to do, and if you want to play along with me, is 1 to 3 colors of yarn. I recommend odd numbers if you're going to do this, and you'll learn more about that when we get to this one. An odd number of yarn, and then, or yarn colors, and then you'll need an appropriate hook. I am using Caron 1 pound, and then this is a old school Red Heart Crystal Lights in H. We're going to start with 27 chain stitches, and then I'll meet you back here in a minute. To make this pattern, we're going to start off, I've done 27 stitches, but your goal is to have a multiple of 3. I'm going to go to the second chain from the hook and make a single crochet. Then I'm going to make a double, so in, so 2, and we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip a chain, and we're going to single in the next. And actually get through all there. Yeah, single, double, chain, skip a chain, single in the next, double, chain 1, single, double, chain 1, can skip in the bottom, single, double, chain 1, single, double, chain 1, single, double, chain 1. And we're going to continue with this until we get to the end, and we'll be ending on a double. And if you have extra chains after that, don't worry about it. We can pick those out. If you've never picked chains out, you're just going to undo this little knot, and that will let you pull out 1 chain at a time. And then we're going to finish our double, and we're going to chain 1 and turn. So we finished 1 row, and we've done our setup row, and the setup row is really nice. You have these little open spots here, and these are going to stay open. What I like about this particular stitch is, or stitch combination, is that it's lacy, but it's not too lacy. And let's go back the other way. It kind of lends itself to going back the other way because you've already done there chain 1, and we're just going to go right into that single crochet with another single crochet. We're going to double crochet in there also. Let's look at that again. We're going to do single in our single, double in our single, and chain 1. Skip the chain, the double, and go right into that next single crochet. Single, double, chain, single, double, chain, I have a boo-boo on my finger, sorry about that. single, double, chain, single, double, chain, and then continue that off until the end of the row. Give me a moment, I'll do just that. Some of you are probably already there while I've been talking, depending how fast you are. And then that last stitch that started off our previous row, that single, we're going to single double chain right into there. Double, chain, turn, we're on row 3, and we do the same thing. Single, into the single, double in the single, chain. And we just single double chain. You can see how fast and easy that is. And no one's expecting you to be the same speed as anyone else. You go the speed that's right for you based on where you are and how you feel. Single double chain, single double chain. I'll do the last two slower. Single, double, chain, and then again into that last single crochet, single, double, chain, turn. Now on your last row, you would just not do the chain, single, double, and end. And that would be it. So this is a 27 stitches wide. And each row has 27 stitches, assuming you do that chain at the end. And it comes out, as you can see, a very nice, it goes this way and that way and this way and that way. It almost looks woven, but it's not. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to do this in 3 colors at once. And while you can do this in evens, you'd need to cut off at the end of each row, and unless you do 2 rows of each, which is fine too. You need to cut off at the end of each row, either way, and pick it up, pick up it up again the next time you're doing that color. And I hate weaving in ends, so I prefer this in odd numbers of colors. So 1, 3, 5. I have done a 7. That was a bit nutters, just because it was so much. And it was yarn management issue. I had so many balls of yarn. I think if I was doing like 9 colors, I'd probably just do 1 of each color. I might weave in more ends then. This would also be nice in like every other's black or white or gray, with a transitional, like a rainbow transition. So I'll be back in a second and show you how to do this with 3 colors at the same time, carrying the colors up these sides here. One moment. Let's do 3. To do 3 colors of yarn, what we need is to do our first, just like we did before. I chained 27. I single crocheted in the second chain from the hook, and then I double crocheted, skip, single double skip, all the way over till we end with a double. But I actually haven't finished my double yet. I'm not going to finish my double. Any of you who have changed yarns at the end of a row without finishing off know this trick. What we're going to do is take our next yarn, and I like to put my working yarn over like I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to put on my new yarn, and I leave myself enough extra that I can weave that in at the end. And then I hold these like it's 1, and then I'm going to pull my loop through, and then I single crochet, and I like to pull both of those loops, those yarns through, just to kind of lock it in so I don't have any yarns working their way out all sneakily while we're off doing other stuff. What you'll see I've also done here is by pulling that over the top is I've locked it in to that stitch, to that chain stitch. So that's our chain stitch. That's our single, double, and this purple is now our chain. I'm going to turn my work, and just like we did with our single color, I'm going to go back the other way. Single, double, chain, our little song. Single, double chain, single, double chain, single, double chain, single, double chain. Maybe not that fast. Single, double, whoop, whoop, chain. Ah, single, double, chain. I'll try to do it a little smoother for you guys. I am a mess. When I am crocheting, my fingers move wildly, so I'm going to try to hold still as possible for you. And you'll see I have another color there behind my work that we're going to pull up in just a minute. And we're going to make that pretty white, pink, purple, or white, purple, pink that we saw at the beginning. And into our last stitch. And again, we're going to stop just before we finish that double. Yarn over as if we're going to pull it through, but we're not yet. We're going to make our little loop. And you'll see I kind of, I kind of hold that yarn with my pinky. When I do this, this is kind of how I measure. I'm very if-ish. It's ish-ish, or ish-ish, I guess. It's longish enough. People like, I want exactly 6 inches. But not me. I'm more ishy than that. I'm going to pull that through, tighten up my purple, and then I'm going to pull yarn over with both of those and pull it through to lock it in. And now I've locked in that purple in the row before. I've locked in my pink end. It's not going anywhere easily. And then I'm going to turn my work. There's my chain stitch. Single, double, chain, and then we need to finish that up for the row, single, double, chain, and continue on. Now I'm a hook roller. I hold in, I believe this is considered the knife grip, where I hold it right there on that throat bit. And I roll. You'll see me roll my hook. There's a lot of pinky action actually in that roll, roll, roll. It's a whole hand movement. And that works really well for me. Might not work well for you. But if you are considering a grip change, or you think this would make you faster, give it a shot. Nothing to lose from learning something new. Again, last stitch. I'm gonna go a little silver here, single, double, and here's where we get a little crazy. I'm not gonna say crazy. That's not a kind thing to say, because we're gonna get a little bit outside of maybe your comfort zone. Because normally I would just single up the side, and my dishwasher just finished. That's what that sound is. Sorry about that. There we go. So what we're going to do here is I'm actually going to pull around my white yarn to do the first, and then I'm going to move my yarn and then wrap over like I'm going to do that and pull through with my white. Just like we did before when we were adding our yarn in, it's the same idea. But I trapped my white yarn before that. And I wanted to trap that so I don't have a long float. So you can see how that's nicely almost braided up the side now. It keeps it really pretty, and I probably should have pulled a little bit tighter when I did my yarn change there. But such is life. So here we go. Chain, turn, back the other way. Single double chain, single double chain. And if we make a mistake, we just frog it a little rip it action. I find this stitch very forgiving too. if I get a little nutty, a little off kilter. And I get ahead of myself sometimes, and I'll accidentally double instead of single double. And then it kind of disappears into the crochet, and the next row I just go back to what I'm supposed to be doing, and no one's the wiser, except you now that you know that occasionally happens. So here we go. My first pull through. Grab out my pink here, pull a little bit to the side. Capture that purple. And then I yarn over and pull through with the new color through all of that chain one. And turn. Now you'll see we have a little bit of a yarn management issue. I do recommend every time you get through one set of colors, kind of handle your yarns. It does get a little bit braided as you go, but you can see that comes out really nicely. And this almost does look braided the way it comes out. It comes out very nicely, a bit like the crazy stitch, but not as crazy, and honestly not as labor intensive. I find that this as you go is a really pretty, it's just really pretty. Everything sits a little bit sideways. It almost looks braided or woven, and depending how you do your colors, it'll look either very, very artistic or very random, depending on what you're going for. This is a great pattern to do scrap projects from, because when every row is a different color, it hides even more of what is going on, as well as it just comes out looking really nicely. It blends the colors nicely. If you, I'll put some pictures up on my Instagram and on the blog post that this video will be attached to in the coming weeks of other projects I've done with this stitch. But it's really just a very joyful stitch. So I'm going to call this the Joy Stitch, as I said in the beginning. And if you've seen other projects with this stitch, I have not before, and I've done a lot of patterns. So there we go. Thank you guys, and I will actually get back in a hot second just to show you the end result of this, which you saw at the beginning. I'm going to show you the end result of this, washcloth sized, so about 15 rows, and I'll show you what it looks like and one of the other reasons I love this so much. So here are my two end results. So here is my 3 color. I started with the white, ended with the pink, and that one, you can see the side over here, nice and clean. This would be really easy to add a border to, which is probably what I would do on something like this, where people are going to be kind of looking at it up close, like a washcloth size. My white one, or my solid color one, it's quite nice, and what I like here, just 2 ends and an odd number of rows, so my ends are both on the same side, but I have just 2 ends to put in for all of this work. And if I was doing a whole shawl in this, I just have 2 ends for my entire shawl. Similarly for my multicolor, however many colors you have that number of ends times 2. One at your beginning end and one at your ending end. And that's it. Those are all the ends that you have. Out of the way. And again, a simple single crochet around here would be lovely, or if this was a shawl, putting just an edge along these 2 sides would be nice as well, or something like a scallop stitch or a shell or something, just to give it a little bit more at the end, or tassels or something would be nice. For a washcloth, again, a single around the whole thing. Or if I was going to use this as a square in like a granny square blanket, where I'm doing some other kinds of either in the multicolor or in the single. This again put a single crochet around the edge. It's going to sew up really nicely even without the, it's hard to tell here in this, but it's a nice solid edge. This would be easy to sew. You can really get into these stitches really easily. There's not a lot of open space here. So this finish, this side edge, especially in the single color, easy to sew two together. This would be a pretty simple add-on to a granny square. And you can block this. If I done 16, it's probably a little bit more square-ish, but 15 was good because I could do 5 sets of 3. So there you go. A really nice, easy pattern. These make great washcloths, shawls, blankets. I'd love to see what you make. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day.